option now for Norskeren.
I want to say Volibear works here, by the way. Just I want to say that.
Absolutely it does. I think Thresh works. I think Rakan would be the toughest matchup of everything we've listed so far. So I think that this is an area that they would be really comfortable that they've landed in. It is just going to be Kaisa Thresh down there in the bottom lane. However, the tools now for SKT are actually much more heavily in that 1-3-1, split up the map, try and drag Splyce around. And if we do think that Splyce is going to win some of these games through team fighting and through making the game simple, SKT with a very good answer now in our 4th game.
And there's not a lot of consistent hard engage from Splyce. If SKT do get to a state where they are actually just splitting up the map, there's no Ornn this time around. There's no Camille in the mid lane. It's just not in Humanoid's champion pool. So you're relying on Scat of the Week, Death Sentence, or like a Taliyah wall for Splyce to find the same team fights that they found in game number 2. Or excuse me, 3.
Sure.
However, they do have a very good mid lane matchup. I really like Syndra into the Ryze. Ryze, I feel like without the guaranteed snare, has to go through 2 animations, kind of locks him in place, and Syndra trades back damage really nicely in that mid lane. Also can play very heavily into the wave as well, so I think that's an area, if Humanoid is going to continue to play well, he's got a good matchup for it.
Yeah, but that's also still Gragas Ryze right there. So I agree with you kind of in the 1v1 matchup, but I think when you start including some of these junglers, it can go either way, but it's about what CC is connecting there, because Gragas Ryze can also be quite devastating.
I think all these lanes can look really, really volatile. Some squishy champions out there and a lot of crowd control can guarantee that they die. Splyce shocked the world with their Game 3 win. And we'll see if they can do it again now in Game 4 with a different kind of composition. SKT have some incredible lanes out there. The Quinn coming back, Khan's 3rd play of the year. Might see a lot of pressure on up there. My eyes remain on Kobbe, though. His Kaisa so good. Their best performer, in my opinion. Right now, again, onto the Rift. SKT hoping to close it out and move on to the semifinals. But Splyce, with that win, know that they can strike again.
And I feel like early jungle pathing has held so much sway over how this series is gone. And Xerxe, now on the Taliyah, especially with renekton, actually has the ability to be able to walk in topside jungle and split the map. Taliyah, level 1, is so incredibly strong at being able to force into jungle. See whether they're doing it. It looks like just a standard fan out. I feel like a split map right now would really suit Xerxe. He would love for that to be able to come through. It's about whether Splyce take the risk.
And while we are focusing in on this top lane, I do want to peek in on Khan's summoner spells, taking the cleanse and not having access to the TP. Obviously makes sense when you have such high mobility on a champion like Quinn. She's not as reliant on teleport as other top laners, but certainly respecting how much kill threat can be up here across from Taliyah renekton.
I would say it's a little bit even more than respect, because he's also gone away from press the attack, which is going to be the major keystone normally that you see taken on something like Quinn. So I think Khan, very aware that he can just die in a single combo.
Yeah, the way it's going to work for the combat pattern is instead of Khan chunking for 3 and backing out, it's land 3 and then chase down the renekton, whom he's now faster than. This is, of course, quite nice. A late invade on the blue buff, that's going to be stolen.
It's about whittling Xerxe out if this is going to be a lane win for Khan here. So we'll keep our eyes on this. I'm very scared. I hope Xerxe can stand tall, but again, this isn't normally a champion in his wheelhouse that we really expect from Xerxe this year.
Can't touch the wave.
He's going to get stunned up, though. Decent damage here for Xerxe, and Khan doesn't have an easy way out. Does have the vault, finally does build the space, and this is what this does, right? This is what Phase Rush lets you do, is chase down, get that 1 extra auto attack, which is worth more than a press the attack trigger.
However, this is so dangerous. I can't believe Xerxe isn't going towards the top side of the map.
Got spotted, too.
Covering Humanoid. Humanoid needs protection from the wave. Again, they spotted out Clid on some vision, so they knew that there was the potential of the level 2 gank. Clid now bottom.
And they know he's there. I don't know if he knows he's spotted. Now he knows he's spotted as the word comes down. But Xerxe's coming around. Is it a flash flay? Are they going for the kill on the Clid? There's the flay, and he doesn't quite predict where he moves. The hook comes out, but the flash gets him out.
So a very strange early game here. You can see Clid very aware that he needs to have impact early. We already mentioned the junglers are holding a lot of sway. However, I do feel like as Xerxe had to say topside would have been able to zone Khan off so much experience and gold. But this is going to ultimately be a triple buff. And when you swap Norskoren's flash for Clid's, I think a very solid early game so far from Splyce.
And this is the recipe for success for Splyce in all of their early games. We say it all the time. We have to drive it home. Xerxe is so important to this team. And on a champion that can jungle so quickly like Taliyah, that has so much movement speed around the map, it is really about controlling the pace of the game figuring out where people are and just making sure that Xerxe is constantly first to the punch.
Khan doing the aggressive pushing up in this top side. Chachi, every time he autos, should take one in return, trying to wear him down. So far has held on to his health potion, though, just using the Doran's shield. Last hitting what he can. Yeah, he's down 10 CS. But holding on so far. That's going to be big damage, though. This is actually a lot. That's a heavy chunk. Can never be traded back on. 200 HP on the renekton.
And you feel like that is, at a minimum, going to be a teleport back into the lane, and Khan therefore justifies the use of the cleanse as a summoner spell already in this game. Set up, okay.
Flash lands the stun into the seismic shove. A lot of damage. Faker's going to flash. Try to run away. He will survive. Bit of CC from Clid as he walks back now as well, but that is still a health bar lead to Splyce.
And the setup was a beautiful from Splyce at first, but then of course not connecting with the threaded volley right there means that Faker does get to walk this off. Now Bond
jumped in, they found the stun. Norskoren's gonna turn on Aftershock as well. Re-hooks in. Decent damage towards Zephyr, but with the clips on, not gonna take too much damage back.
And that is what Varus's range does in these short little trades. You can see that he was able to trade heavily onto Kobbe, whereas Kobbe was forced to hit effort due to a range disadvantage. So whenever you see those trades coming across from SKT, just be very mindful of who Teddy is hitting versus who Kobbe is forced to attack.
Looking now as we look top side, the attempted stun for Chachi. He'll be in range. Empowered stun's going to build a lot of space, and it's Khan trying to run away. Not in range without a flash, has to flash for it. Cleanse comes in, and it's going to be a flash now to safety. Will barely stay alive here. Clid finds the CC. First blood top lane, and Xerxe is on the run. Now, can they chase this one down, though? He's going to keep running, but will a body slam land? That's no. Xerxe gets out.
just an overforce there from Splyce, getting the flash out of Chachi. You can see what they're trying to... Well, he's still got Xerxe.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. Khan can't really chase through.
They have to stay up here now because they cannot allow the wave without teleport to be in this position, so there should be an opportunity to once again look for a fight.
He's playing pretty far up. Doesn't have the rage, though, to get a very big stun. It's going to be wave they're kind of back and forth, taking what they can in front of the turret. Khan will stay alive. Khan will get the recall. But Khan is not going to be level 6 yet, so cannot take the bird back to lane.
But you can see the play pattern that Splyce are trying to go for here. It's with the Scatter the Weak. Is he going to interrupt him? No, he's just trying to get the freeze.
I mean, he might.
Ooh.
He's going to try right. Yes, but just by that, right? Just making Khan have to turn around.
But it's about finding the stun, the Scatter the Weak, the stun from the renekton into the flick from Taliyah. And this is repeatedly what Splyce are going to try to do, but they need to make these kills start connecting.
And you can see that Chachi does the right thing initially. He tries to shepherd Khan away from the easiest escape route. However, then having to burn the summoner spell. Very nice flash from Khan, burnt with the cleanse. And as soon as you don't initially kill the ranged champion, they just get all of the advantages in the chase, able to turn around so much damage.
The recall comes through. Khan now has the cutlass, has extra crowd control to deliver, an extra little spell that'll help turn on phase rush if he needs it. And the slow helps, of course, as well. You can see a 600 gold difference. That's what you get from a first blood, if as long as it's assisted. An equal game, all other things considered. Top lane farm within 5. Level 6 in first renekton as well. There's a small window where actually Chachi might be able to brutalize the 1v1.
And again, it's going to be mid lane in favor of Humanoid. He hasn't burnt the teleport back to the wave, and Faker is sitting in about a 10 CS discrepancy once this mid lane wave is going to be collected from Humanoid. So, once again, Splyce's rookie mid laner stepping up on the biggest stage against the biggest name in League of Legends and having a very good early game.
Slow crash here from Splyce means that there's a potential for a dive. Xerxe's here.
Khan, not 6. No flash either. That's going to be a really nicely timed vault. But it's still farm denied. It's going to be a plate to Chachi. It's going to be this Gromp denied. SKT answer with their pressure on towards his Infernal Drake. So the question is, how much does Khan lose here? Because he's under the wave, he's under the turret, knocks it down, gets most of that farm. Infernal Drake for half a wave, that's a good thing for SKT.
Yeah, and I really like the trade coming out from SKT right now. They know that this is going to be a big area of pressure topside. However, now Faker not really hovering up here. Khan has to be able to trim the wave and will be able to do it successfully. So much time invested from Splyce leads to nothing in top lane.
Yeah, just a huge trade up for SKT. Khan now with access to his bird is playing this very safely, knowing...
They can kill him.
Xerxe is going to try for the blue buff. Smite, that's going to be just in time. There was just barely space for the auto attack to come through.
Uh-oh. They now know where Xerxe is, which means the SKT know they have numbers advantage on this side of the map.
4 versus 2. In they go. The Lantern, the Cleanse, they're going to walk away to safety. Ignite just to make sure, and they're going to have enough damage. Effort is going to drop, and the re-engage comes across. Humanoid won't find the stun on a Teddy, but that tower dive turns into a disaster for SKT.
Yeah, a massive fumble there, and I do want to give credit to Humanoid. instantly on the teleport, did not waste a single beat there, sniffed it out. Great cross-map communication from Splyce.
Yeah, and he's just having a terrific series. And again, Khan has pushed in this wave. It is frozen against him. He is being very stubborn in trying to chip out Xerxe, but Xerxe is just continually providing cover for his top laner.
And that's why Quinn top is so scary. You pop the W every 40 seconds, and you're like, the jungler is here. I know how to play this.
But we'll take a look at this replay, but I want to ask the question, is this Quinn going to be worth it comparatively to the renekton? As we looked at the botch dive, just desynced there from multiple members of SKT. Going back to the Quinn question, she's not really getting any sizable advantage. Because Xerxe and Xerxe are kind of 2v1ing this situation, you don't see it paying off in the CS. Yeah, Khan's getting a lot of good shots off, but what would I rather have? Would I rather have the renekton with Spear of Shojin that can provide in a side lane, provide in a team fight, or would I rather have the Infernal that the Quinn bought me and the Quinn's ability to play side lane with speed?
Well, the thing is if you haven't played against a side laner like Quinn, it really distorts the way the mid to late game plays out. You have to be very good at your decision making. What do we know about Splyce? That they sometimes have holes in their decision making process in the mid game. So I think that SKT would be very comfortable that whilst it hasn't got the big advantage, still has a kill, has itself an Infernal Dragon, and you know, all it takes is one bad teleport from Xerxe or one stay where the Quinn does go for the roam, and this game could still be very heavily in SKT's favor due to that pick up in the draft.
Well, so far in the early game, I'm actually very pleased with how Xerxe's playing it. You saw a little while ago a Trinket Ward inside the lane. Nice Lantern again, just completely gets away from Solar Flare. And a pretty stylish bottom lane so far for Splyce.
And you can see some of the cool play patterns that you can get with Thresh versus Leona, not just in trying to deny the Zenith Blade by timing a nice flay from Thresh, but also in playing around the ultimate with your Dark Passage. So props to Norskeren. He plays a lot of Leona, plays a lot of Thresh, so obviously knows the ins and outs of how this is supposed to work.
It certainly does cut two ways. The last thing you want to do is Dark Passage someone out into the Leona ultimate that has been thrown at you. So I think very heavy skill matchup. Clid down here.
Ult's gonna land. Nice stopwatch buys some seconds, and now the re-engage too early. Too early, but they're gonna have it anyway. The flash to land the stun, and that might mean Kobbe can walk to safety as you've got Xerxe here as well, and a lot of damage towards Effort. Wall's gonna come down. Effort cannot get over this wall. As long as they land the skill shots, that will be a kill. The missed E is what killed Effort. A mechanical misplay sets up the 1-for-1.
Yeah, really nicely done to get the return kill. Xerxe was down there initially, but just missed his window. Meanwhile, heavy trading in the top lane. Faker looking to head up there. No, it will just be a collected wave. So equal trades across the map.
Yeah, and everything burned in the top lane. The cleanse, both flashes, Xerxe's teleport is just about to come off. So again, Khan had to muster everything to scrape out of that one. As we take another look, you were talking about the Zenith Blade from Effort that really costs.
Yeah, I mean, just missing the layering of CC right there is what costs. Has to flash forward, and then they overchase. They should have been content with one kill in the frozen wave. Xerxe does head back down. Really smart decision making to not take that wall, to not overchase. And this is where I think Splyce are showing that, you know what, they do have the composure under pressure because they're not continuing to look to extend that trade. 2 kills onto Kobbe is enough at this stage of the game.
I was just about to point out, and that's exactly where you want the gold to go for Splyce. Again, the reason why they are considered the late game team, Splyce time at 35 minutes, is because they have to rely on Kobbe's consistency. He is really the backbone and soul of this team.
But I want to give the other side of this one, which is the fact that SKT close in gold and up the Infernal Drake themselves with what feels like a fairly winning bottom lane. Now, certainly, Kobbe has the kills, right? Clearly, that's going pretty well on the first side of Spike, but Teddy's been winning in farm, and it feels like bot lane has been pressured by SKT more than it's been pressured by Splyce. It leads me to believe they're likely to get Infernal number 2, as Clid is now ganking up in the mid lane. They're going to find the flash into the chase down. Nice juke on the cast, and it's not enough damage. Faker's running away, and it's not going to be enough yet for Xerxe. Now you've got Vizicsacsi forced one away. Khan is so very quick, cutting him around.
EU mids, man. I don't know. Just classy. Well done, Humanoid.
That was so well played, and that is a change to Ryze. That would have been a snare on the old patch, however.
Going back forward is Xerxe running pretty low on health. Doesn't know quite where to go just yet. Will at least knock down the wave and stay alive, but let's take a stock of what this lane looks like now, because Xerxe's still low, has no ult, gonna have a harder time fighting. Xerxe still feels like they can start the Infernal Drake. SKT mostly around the map. Faker has TP if he can join in, but Splyce not yet being contested on this. Now over the wall, Clid alone against the enemy team, trying to buy some time. Does not have flash, but can body slam away. This could be a re-engage though, 2,000 health. They're gonna find that first stun. So much damage to Norskeren, and they're zoning back Splyce. This fight continues on now, waiting as Chachi once again can pull aggro, and it goes back towards Splyce. Still 2,500 health onto that one. Clid is around, Clid has smite. Xerxe nearby as well. Who's gonna go for that one first? Another Braille comes out, poke on Chachi, he's getting low. The wall comes down now as well. They're gonna push in for it, and a nice pickup. That's gonna go over to Splyce, a good smite. Let's renekton claim the kill. Splyce with the objective pickup and no deaths.
And because of that wall, they also have complete control over this mid lane wave. They're going to be able to crash it. Humanoid can get himself a plate if he would like, and they burnt teleport from Faker. Very well played from this Splyce lineup, not panicking and getting both objectives.
Yeah, it was the patience that was so impressive there, waiting for the Taliyah wall, lining it up perfectly, getting the Infernal Drake, and like you said, all of that access into the mid lane.
And at what point do we start asking, where is Faker? Because Faker is the best player of all time. That is not up for debate. And it's not enough to just not make mistakes. That's the bare minimum when you're Faker. You need to prove you are the best consistently. That is why he has 8 LCK titles and 3 World Championships, is that he claps his opponents. That is not happening here.
And while it has been quiet in this game from Faker so far, we saw how much Splyce threw at denying that Ryze, of trying to really prioritize this pick, get Humanoid on it. And when the Ornn was banned and SKT had the option to go for the renekton and Akali have been their first picks on blue side for pretty much the entire tournament. They themselves grabbed the Ryze, a signature pick for Faker here. So there is still time for the GOAT to show up.
And it's not a bad time to be Faker. He's got both of his mana items already in this game. He's going to be side laning against either a renekton or the Syndra in the late game. That is a very good matchup for the Ryze to be able to pull towards the side lane. So I think there's still going to be windows, but I agree with you. So far in the laning phase, I have been incredibly impressed with how Humanoid has been able to control these matchups.
Aggressive by Humanoid, waiting to see now what SKT can do about this Rift Herald. It has looked like it's going to be pretty cleanly over to Splyce. Another objective going the way of the LEC hopeful, the 3rd seed. Snuck out of the group, lost a tiebreaker for the 1st seed, pulled SKT, and are looking good in game 4.
And because I'm a nice guy, I'm not going to mention that flash from Norskeren.
Sometimes you fall upwards. You know what I mean? Like, you flash, you get a Rift Herald. What do you want?
Very
Your
strange
flash.
play. You would like your flashback. However, this is very good job from Splyce. They understand that right now they do have the control. They are on the spikes that they want. You know, Luden's Echo coming through for Humanoid, as well as the fact that Kobbe is very much ready to fight. So they are grouping, they are using this, and SKT is trying to create advantages through their side lanes. However, so far this game, it certainly has not been enough. Gold is dead even, and Splyce, now with the Herald, might look to be able to create a fight. And we're going to get another Infernal Dragon as well.
Same as last game, actually. Triple Infernal. It was traded 2-1. It's going to be the same here in this case. Chachi cannot find the stuns, but still trading close in farm. Xerxe going to come forward. Going to find some decent damage towards Khan. Blade of the Ruin King gives space to walk away. With a health bar below 1,000.
I think there is an issue in Chachi's itemization. The fact that he isn't to his big breakpoint right now, and the Infernal is spawning. Now, he does have 2 minutes to kind of get there, but I'm really looking on how they get Chachi to a Spear of Shojin and make him feel a bit more comfortable.
Is this going to be the fight? Clid's going to ult in. They're going to bring forward one, but Chachi dives in.
No.
They're going to find a sun, a gigantic CC chain, and he's going to drop down now. Big damage across, nearly knocking down Faker. The minions chasing as well. The flash ult.
Beautiful.
That's going to be reminiscent of Samsung Galaxy in the same spot a while ago. But still, 2 kills in for SKT.
I mean, SKT just so crisp in their team fighting. The fact that Chachi flashes in and is just immediately heart CC forever, doesn't get the stun off, that's what he was looking for. Deleted from the map, and then just Teddy with the fadeaway Varus ultimate. Just crisp.
And League of Legends is such a unique game in that mistakes snowball. And we saw already that Norskeren made that mistake of burning his flash, then gets caught out of position, and this time it's actually Chachi that has to be able to go in, try and save his support player. If he had flash, that would have just been an exit over the wall and maybe a neutral play. But, you know, coming back to haunt Norskeren in that moment.
And excuse me, misspoke. It's Chachi now who finally has his first item, and it's not the Spear of Shojin, it is the Black Cleaver. We're sitting on the Candle Gem and the Phage. So it feels a bit better for Chachi, but that's this is a big feels bad moment.
And you can see it's because he's getting pincered, can't run back through Faker as well, and does get, you know, layering a great CC there. As you mentioned, the fact that Xerxe is just nearly 100 to 0'd without any damage coming across is a big deal. But once again, this is a pretty fed Syndra. Takes the Ryze out of the fight. And that is just decisive League of Legends.
Yes.
Coming across from Teddy.
Teddy doing very well down here on the Varus, 1-0-2. Got that second kill, and you can see the game is 800 apart. Khan still looking to push forward, looking to put so much damage on Vizicsacsi, consistently chunks him down to about half, then Blade of the Moon King for more slows. Look how low the renekton gets. Xerxe's finally here, and Khan walks away. Out of range of the crowd control. Jukes it, nicely played there. Lifesteal's back up.
And this is not going to get any better for Vizicsacsi as this game goes on. Does have teleport, however, Dragon already started. Looks like it will go down.
Gonna be claimed. Here comes the TP, but this is scary. Right on top of the rest of the squad. Chachi's there. A stun stops it. Here comes Kobbe. They find one. They're gonna find the second. Right into it goes Splyce. But look at Khan. He's gonna turn one blind. Jumps back in for Xerxe. The snipe from Teddy. One more auto. Finally claims it. It's up for Kobbe to do it all. Gets a single kill. Will not be hooked. And again, Teddy finds the shutdown. 3 deaths make it 4. SKT lose 4. It's Splyce going up 2 in the fight.
And this game is absolutely insane. You can see that Splyce are just so decisive in their team fighting. Again, it is Humanoid saving the team fight for Splyce. This team has just flipped the switch, and we keep going back to it. A young team only requires belief. This Dragon was gone. There was no reason to go for it, but they take their shot.
And it opens up initially with the Taliyah ultimate, but they are right there. That flash into the Scout of the Week really starts it all off. Xerxe on the back half with Kobbe, who you're talking about that decisiveness, just flashes over the wall to get in the fight.
And it's what's your move, right? It's Kobbe consistently the aggressive one, takes the duel against Khan, makes it happen. The hook, if that lands, that's probably double kill right there.
Yeah, if that lands, that's the hero play from Splyce. That's amazing.
I mean, you really can't ask for more. There were multiple hero plays in that moment. Look at the damage coming out of Kobbe already in this game. And I mean, SKT, they went up 2-0. They would have felt like after game 2, they had complete control of this series. They made the substitution for Mata. But it is now 20 minutes into the game and dead even.
And you just saw that damage done. The fact that Faker was non-existent in the fight, did 0 damage. And so now the question has to be asked again. SKT, Splyce forced them. You must pay us respect. You must play with effort to clean out this series. Well, now SKT need Faker to show up and be Faker to close out this series.
Exactly. We're not just on what's your lane matchup. The CS is 1 apart. You've got to actually show up and be this player. Flashes in, gotta find the route. That's the plays we were looking for. Gets the setup, finally grabs his first kill of the game at the 21st minute.
And what a way to be able to do it. 20 minutes into the game, Baron becomes a real objective right now. They have control over the top river with that pickup. I mean, he's the greatest of all time for a reason, and when the question is asked, very much willing to take the game into his hands.
And now at this point, they've delayed Splyce a lot in terms of the setup, the contestant, the war on vision that was being played right there. It means that SKT, yes, they lost that team fight, but they did pick up double Inferno. They now have broken down that top side. They've now created a more open map where Ryze and Quinn can start dissecting this map that we talked about into the draft.
By every metric you expect, SKT now winning. More turrets down, more gold earned, better Drakes. You expect them to be doing well here. Splyce gonna have a harder time starting fights as well. It's not that same Ornn that could sound the horn and start the battles. To me, it's a lot about Kobbe. What can he do on yet another Kaisa game?
And who gives him backline access? Because that's always what Kaisa teamfights are about. You need someone with that CC to allow you. Xerxe will just get over the wall. So it's going to have to be Norskeren or Xerxe or Vizicsacsi off a flank that will allow this map to open up for Kobbe in the team fight.
And it also means that the flashes are that much more important for Splyce's team fight because they need those flashes to get that access. Now, the last time around, it was the Scatter of the Week from a flash from Humanoid that had to force it, but I agree with you. You would expect it to be a deep flank from this renekton to really get into the thick of things and cause havoc.
Oh, almost a melee range there. Spots again, Xerxe gonna get a lot of damage here, and he's gonna wait. He's gonna wait for the vault. goes back to the other side. Now Chachi's on the wrong side of this one, and now over the wall is Clid. That's a forced flash away. Meanwhile, we saw effort forced to run away, but no flashes lost on the SKT side. And Chachi, where can he even go? W's not available for the reveal, has to go into melee range yet again, but you're still right in front of the Gragas. No escape for renekton.
And unfortunately, Splyce were looking at the rest of SKT when SKT had put so much effort into taking down Chachi, herding him over into the waiting hands of Khan, but they don't have the hard CC. They don't have the immediate engage of that Ornn. So as long as the skill shots don't connect, it's super easy for the other parts of SKT to just disengage and not give Splyce any sort of trade back.
And it is also very hard to get onto Teddy if effort is next to him, because you have so many peel tools. And at this stage of the game, Teddy's damage is just ridiculously insane. So we'll see that in these fights, effort putting a lot of effort into a lot of attention into trying to keep his AD carry safe.
Chunk under the turret. That's all 3 outers dropped now at minute 24. And SKT move up to a 2,000 gold lead.
Now this could be dangerous. SKT has just walked completely off mid lane wave, and Baron is up and available. They're using their 2 carries to try and take down the Dragon, and you can see that that is a very quick Baron available from the Splyce lineup. Off this mid lane priority, they just might decide to go for it.
They're using Khan as a scout.
Exactly. Walks up, presses W, no one's there. Okay, no problem. Comes back around the other side, and they know they've got at least a little bit of vision, a little bit of time, I should say. The wards are mostly gone. Splyce back in the fog, but just fine.
Splyce are setting up for a trap here, but they haven't done their homework because there's a control ward that's sitting on Baron, so they wanted SKT to walk into them, but because they haven't checked the pit, there's no reason for SKT to go over there. I think they've now realized their mistake.
Once again, Khan spots us out, Ruin King for the slow. Chachi jumps away.
And you can see how annoying it is to play against this Quinn. You know, Khan in the mid game has really
careful, this could be a bait, this could be a bait. Oh, he didn't even go in for it. He jumped into melee range. They let the recall come through instead. SKT gonna claim this river.
These must be the most important wards of Norskaren's life, because he really wanted to reset for vision there. So much so that he nearly gave away a winning team fight for the SKT lineup. Just able to squeak away there was Vizicsacsi without flash. That was a very dangerous position.
Ultimately though, nothing comes from it either way, so the resets come through. The most important wards have now been laid down, but it's still really about fighting for mid lane priority. That top lane tower still being up is going to be a thorn in Splyce's side.
Oh, and it's so pedantic, but I have to say it. This is why Splyce's mid game sometimes looks messy. Double amplifying tome, no control wards out of either of the carries. Control wards at this stage of the game are so much more important than that AP.
Well, the wall's gonna come down. They're trying to cut off part of SKT. Teddy can't join the fight, but no one's gonna push forward anyway. There's the cast back in. No way out. Norskeren kind of late on the QSS flash. Could have built a lot more distance with better reflexes there, and that's gonna be another pick now for SKT, with the only thing burned being a single ultimate.
It's looking dire. It's looking dire if you're a Splyce fan. SKT wrestling control back. You can see that there's 2 members right now on the Baron, as they've also gained control over the mid lane. They've now brought Khan into the pit, and this is all on Xerxe.
Over the wall, big damage, and Faker sets it up. Answers the questions. Another death comes through for Humanoid. Teddy just jumps in for that one. Now Clid's on the run, takes a bunch of damage, but Khan is there to back him up. Now Kobbe does find a kill, does solo out Faker, but Chachi cannot get in on anything there. Khan kites him back and forth and over and over and over again. Effort to the other side, jumps back over the wall. That's the stun, that's another kill. SKT lose 1, but kill 3.
And that must be the most frustrating team fight right now for the Splyce lineup, because you can see that with a member down, the willingness of SKT to be able to force the issue, and then no response coming across.
And of course, Faker back alive in 15 seconds does have access to the teleport. Xerxe is just now up, but doesn't have the ultimate. I don't think there's any contest here.
Kobbe can try with a miracle steal. W gets blocked by Khan. Q's not going to be in range either. Claimed there, and that's a forced flash out. But this snipe could be a lot of damage. Good juke to the side by Kobbe. That's the reset for SKT, and a 6,000 gold with Baron buff on is all but over. here in Game 4.
And let's take another look at this, because this is the hard force, but as you mentioned, Frost, no hard CC and everything misses. Scatter the weak, as well as the hook, the wall does nothing. So it is going to be Norskeren falling down. And this is where it gets frustrating, because you have no face check tools. You don't have the ability to regain vision, and the willingness of SKT to turn off this Baron is so damn impressive.
Yeah, the fact that Faker just flashes over the wall and just says, not today. Now, that said, Faker then does ult immediately on top of Kobbe. Kobbe does pick up that kill, but the damage had already been done. SKT strangled Splyce out of that Baron. They've now picked it up. You talked about the gold lead, double Infernal and a Mountain. This looks to be it.
And a Quinn and a Ryze, two of the best side-laning late-game champions. And you can see that they're setting up actually in a 1-1-3 because they want to be able to create the maximum distance between the rest of the Splyce members and Vizicsacsi.
Oh, effort. Into the body slam, into the cast. Nice flash by Humanoid, but suddenly, out of nowhere, it's Leona. The Realm Warp means even more. Big damage across. That's one kill picked up, but they will trade it back, and Kobbe is here. And he can do shutting down effort. Damage comes across, but didn't pull aggro, means he can walk away safely 1 for 1, but the turret goes down.
And I think an overreach there from SKT. They don't need to look for these aggressive trades because it is going to be Khan winning so heavily on the top side of the map.
He's level 16 to Vizicsacsi's level 13. SKT could absolutely just play this slow and let this Quinn continue to bully renekton.
It's going to happen for a while. It's been happening all game long. Some nice early touches by Xerxe, but wasn't enough to stop the snowball. 3-level lead is gigantic.
Well, just imagine what it would be if he allowed it to happen from level 1, right? Didn't go for the invade early, didn't split the map in, you know, a semi-effective way, then got a 3-buff back towards the top side. This has honestly been quite an impressive bailout from Xerxe, and it still means that Chachi is this far behind.
Mid lane tier 2 gone now as well. 6-1 the turret score. 13-8 in kills. SKT. Baron still on for a minute. The second Mountain Drake going to be a formality here. And as the map resets one more time, an 8,000 gold lead is putting SKT above Splyce.
And I feel like as we actually take another look at this play, this is impressive because it's great layering. However, good flash from Humanoid will keep him safe. And you can see the troops arrive very timely for the Splyce lineup. Very good wall there from Xerxe. Kobbe flying in again with that ultimate, playing Superman. I just think it wasn't needed. Like, in this game, you win through the war of attrition. No one can contest Khan right now in the side lane. They're going to have to send at least this many people to be able to deal with him, and he just flies away.
The whole band's there.
Squire's Bloom was so clutch, it revealed 3 that they knew was happening. Theoretically, there's a way you sneak in and go for a blind hook, but not happening here. And either way, Khan, of course, has cleanse to get out for most things.
They did get a look at him, which is why you saw Chachi reaching around for the flank there, but knowing that SKT have control over mid lane, there was the possibility that they would get collapsed on. Now Kobbe.
Play. Faker trying to get out from this one. He's going to get back in. No, the flay picks him back off, and Kobbe is on his 6th kill of the game. If there is to be a carry for Splyce, it is the Kaisa on 6 kills.
And again, hats off to Kobbe. He is the franchise man of Splyce. He is showing up when it matters. The fact that SKT had spent so many resources on Vision pushing up mid, Faker just didn't expect him to fly in.
And just listen to the crowd right now. They are willing this Splyce lineup over the line, and it has been Kobbe. You know, as you mentioned, Mr. Splyce coming up clutch. Does Khan go for it?
Yep. Damage across, has to get away, flashes over what could have been the stun. A pretty easy solo kill when you're that fed. Now Xerxe's here and he hugs the wall for move speed. But can he reach?
Everyone is here.
Loses the Banshee's Veil, and that's going to be enough to turn off the passive yet again.
Look at SKT in mid lane.
Yeah, they're going to push down for a Nexus turret, or at least the inhibitor itself, but they're going to flash to pull it in. They're going to find 1 kill into Khan, but that's going to take 4 members, and he still finds a kill. And SKT are pushing. They are pushing, and they are looking for Nexus turrets.
That might be enough. SKT might be able to win the game.
They're going to knock down at least 1. They're going to knock down the second. They're going to go towards the Nexus. Here comes the squad. Will they go for the win, or will they go for the fight? The battle begins, and they're going to look for a lot of damage, but already Xerxe is gone. There's a shot to the back lines. Not going to live either. SKT, gods can bleed, but they will not die. A quarterfinal win, 3-1, and we'll see you next week.
And a lot of different looks from SKT here. We saw them play multiple different styles, attacking in the side lane, attacking in the 5v5. Maybe some hiccups but ultimately it felt inevitable.
Splyce made him sweat. I think the series was a lot closer than many people would have expected. And those are the series that hurt more.